All right, let's dive into something that's being called the next huge leap in AI, agentic AI. I mean, think about it. Today's AI, it can write a perfect email, no problem. But can it manage the whole project that email is a part of? Not really. We're going to look at the systems that are changing all that. AI that doesn't just answer you, but actually goes out and solves complex, multi-step problems all by itself.
So yeah, let's really hammer this point home. An LLM can spit out a great email or a perfect little piece of code. Awesome. But can it manage the entire software project? Can it run a big data analysis from start to finish, with all the different stages? Nope. Because that takes planning, it takes memory, and it takes the ability to look at its own work and say, hey, that's not quite right, let me fix it. And that gap, that's exactly what agentic systems are being built to fill.
So what we're really seeing here is this massive shift, right? We're moving away from an AI that just does one single thing really well to one that can actually solve big problems. This isn't just about making AI a little bit better. It's about giving it a whole new backbone, an architecture that lets it tackle complex, long-term goals. And how do we build something like that? Well, it starts with what the experts over at AWS are calling agentic patterns. The best way to think about these, they're basically architectural blueprints. They're these reusable, almost like Lego-style designs that let developers build and coordinate whole teams of specialized AI agents, and they all work together to hit one common goal. Okay, so if agentic patterns are the blueprints, what are the actual bricks and mortar? What are the building blocks? Let's take a look under the hood and see how these systems are actually put together to create something that can, really think and act over time. And right away, you see one of the most critical pieces of the puzzle, memory. This is huge. Just like you and me, these agents use short-term memory for what's happening right now, like remembering the last thing you said in a conversation. But they also have long-term memory to pull up old facts and, importantly, learn from their past mistakes. That ability to look back is what lets them adapt and get smarter as they go. And this right here, this is another brilliant pattern called the reflect-refine loop. It's a super powerful way for the AI to improve itself. Here's how it works. You have one agent, the generator, that makes something, a plan, an answer, whatever. Then a second agent, the evaluator, comes in and acts like a critic. It checks the work against the rules. And finally, that first agent takes the feedback and revises its work. They just keep doing this loop until the quality is perfect. It's like having a tiny, super fast quality control team built right into the system. But okay, here's where we hit a snag. As these systems get bigger and you start having dozens, maybe even thousands of these agents all trying to work together, a massive problem pops up. And honestly, it's a problem that anyone who's ever managed a big team is going to recognize immediately. So look at the left side. That's the old way. You've got a central manager agent that tells everyone else what to do. And just like a human project manager, when the project gets too big, they become the bottleneck, right? They just can't delegate tasks or process info fast enough. But now look at the right. That's the goal. A self-organizing team where agents talk directly to each other. It's way more flexible and way more scalable. And look, this isn't just me talking theory here. Researchers are hitting this wall right now. This quote from a brand new paper on a framework they're calling Matrix just nails it. It says that these centralized orchestrators create scalability bottlenecks. In other words, the old model just doesn't work when you try to go big. It becomes that single point of failure that can bring the whole system crashing to a halt. And this is where things get really, really cool. To blow past that bottleneck, researchers are building a completely new way for these multi-agent systems to work. It's an architecture that looks way more like a dynamic, self-organizing team and a lot less like a rigid top-down company chart. It all comes down to this really simple but powerful question. What if the agents could just manage themselves? This table breaks down exactly how this new peer-to-peer design from the Matrix framework actually works. So instead of everything flowing through one central manager, the entire state of a task, I'm talking its history, its data, what needs to happen next, it all gets bundled up into a single message. The agent that has the message does its job, updates the package, and then passes it directly to the next agent in line. It's a totally decentralized system, which makes it way more resilient, no single point of failure. The paper has a great name for this, row-level scheduling. Think of the old way as one big conveyor belt in a factory. If one package gets stuck, the whole line stops. But in this new model, it's like every single task gets its own personal lane on the highway. It can move at its own speed without having to wait for anyone else. It's just incredibly efficient and totally prevents those system-wide traffic jams. Okay, so this whole peer-to-peer thing sounds clever, right? But why does it really matter? What's the actual impact here? Why is this such a potential game changer for where AI is headed?
This is why. We're talking about a 2 to 15 times increase in performance. And that's on the exact same hardware. This isn't some tiny little improvement, it's a monumental leap forward in efficiency.
And this chart really drives it home. It shows you what that looks like in the real world. When they tested this on really complex stuff, like generating training data, the throughput, which is just a fancy way of saying how much work gets done in a set amount of time, the throughput of the Matrix peer-to-peer framework just blows the older centralized systems out of the water. I mean, it's not even close. It's a night and day difference.
But what's so crucial to get here is that the speed isn't just about being faster. It unlocks completely new possibilities. It means we can now generate these enormous, high-quality synthetic datasets that we need to train the next wave of AI models. It means we can start tackling way bigger, way more complex problems than we ever could before. And really, at the end of the day, it just speeds up the entire cycle of AI development.
So let's just recap. We've seen AI evolve from doing just one little task to these incredible systems of agents that can self-organize and solve problems at a massive scale and with incredible efficiency. So that leaves us with this really fascinating question to think about. It's not really a matter of if AI can tackle our biggest challenges anymore. It's a matter of which of our so-called impossible problems it's going to solve next.